Hello, in this video we will discuss about the plant movement. That is two type of movement we will discuss. So first of all, we should need to understand about the stimulus. What is the cause for the movement? So plant will not move from one place to another, but it can move within the axis of the plant are moved due to the growth or pressure. So we will discuss here the stimulus can be light, water, chemical, touch and pressure. These are the external stimuli. So this is the external stimuli, while the internal can be hormone or another water, you can understand. So here is the water, chemicals, touch and pressure will change. For example, here is the plant pot, and here is it will move toward the light or away from the light. So the phototactic movement phototropic movement, sorry, not tactic. So here I am drawing the cell for understanding of the plant. So this contain nucleus, and here is the vacuole. Vacuole is used for the turgidity to erect the plant, so that is also important for the movement of plant. And here is the cytoplasm, and this is the vacuole which that is used for the turgidity and turgid of the plant for erection. So here I am drawing again the sunlight, and this is the plant cells. And this plant cell I am basically giving the example for understanding the bending of the plant. Why it bend? Due to the water loss or water absorb. So in this way the turgidity is very important. So here is a normal cell with turgid after the entering the water, absorbing the water into the vacuole. So it will be bent toward the light. If and the one sided cell will be less turgid, and one sided will be more. So for example, the sunflower move toward the lights is known as the Turgor movement. Why? Because it is the changes of the Turgor pressure in the different several cell in the stem. So let's begin to understand the plant response to stimulus, how it's response. So here is the sun, which that is disperse the light. So in this way, here is I am drawing the seedling, so the embryo which contain endosperm. Here is the food, and this is the basically the reception is the coleoptile. This coleoptile, when receive the light, it will move, and the first leaf this is, and the transduction due to the hormones and give response, and the coleoptile experimental organ, we can use it. So this is the basic understanding for the plant movement. So let's begin to understand about the plant movement and their types. The plant movement is the major two types, autonomic and paratonic. Autonomic movement means the plant itself move due to the internal stimuli, for example hormone and water also. While on the other hand, the paratonic is beside the movement, and it can be the external stimulus. So let's begin to understand the autonomic movement. Here is the tactic movements, Turgor movement and growth movement, while the paratonic movement is the tropic movement and Nastic movement. So the tactic movement is basically the movement of entire cell or organs. For example, chlamydomonas, which that toward the light is the phototactic movement, positive or negative. Away if so, that is the negative. So the gain or loss of water with the cell to create turgidity changes the direction. So this is the Turgor movement, and growth movement is unequal change of growth into sided root, shoot, tendrils, buds, etc. So on the other hand, here is the tropic moves, is the tropos mean turn, the whole bending of the shoot or root to toward the stimulus, while here is the Nastic movement. This is the directional movement of plant in response to external stimulus. So this is the two type of movement is due to the external stimulus. So let's begin to understand the tactic movement. The whole body will move. Phototactic movement, Cyclosis is the major example. Within the cell of the plant, chloroplast will move, and the chemotactic movement is ferns and bryophytes, which that is a sperm gamete will be moved and follow the chemical, and hydrotactic movement is due to the water movement. While the turgor movement is the sleeve movement and rapid movement of leaflets, and this is a rapid movement of leaflets due to the potassium exchange. While the here is the growth movement is the epinasty. Epinasty means the unequal growth in the upper part, and nasty nutation is the unequal growth of the lateral, and hyponasty means the downward movement. While on the other hand, the here is the tropic movement can be divided the phototropism, thigmotropism, and chemotropism, and geotropism. And the Nastic movement, we can understand the nictinastic movement, photonastic, and thermonastic, and haptonastic movement. So here, let's begin to understand the Nastic movement is due to the external stimulus. So here is the light, for example, external stimulus, which that is allowed to move, and the flower will be open, and this sprouting process of the flower is unequal movement is known as the basically is the can be uh, thermonastic movements, because the heat can be occur in the tulip plant, and the photonastic can be flower open close on light duration. On the other hand, the nictinastic movement is the external stimulus, for example touch. So on the other hand, the haptonastic movement is the Venus flytrap. A plant responds to contact. When contact the insect, so that it will close, so the capture the insect. So this type of Nastic movement is the unequal non-directional movement. It means we cannot assume the direction. While other movement, for example tropic movement, we can understand phototropism, thigmotropism, chemotropism, and geotropism. Let's begin to understand the tropic movements. So here I am trying to understand the tropic movements. The tropos mean turning, so the plant will turn. And here you can see this is the light, this is the external stimulus, and the phototropism will be occurring the sunflower. So the sunflower will move toward the light direction. So we can assume the direction, and we can understand the direction of the sunflower. So that is why it is the directional. And the thigmotropism is the touch to the non-living part for the tendril when contact with the non-living part to attach in the form of vine. While here in the case of chemotropism means the carbon dioxide concentration where is high, so the plant will move toward the carbon dioxide and water side for the absorption of the carbon dioxide. So that is the chemotactic movement. While on the other hand, other chemotactic movement we will discuss later in this time. So here is the thigmotropism, and hydrotropism is the basically is the move toward the water. So the positive is the root, it will move toward the water, while the negative hydrotropism is the shoot system. So here is the chemotropism is also the chemical. Here I am drawing the chemical for understanding. So chemical can be organic or inorganic, and here is basically is the geotropism, it is toward the gravity. So the positive geotropism is the fruit, while the negative is the shoot. So here is the fungi which contain a hyphae. This hyphae will move toward the chemical. So that is also the chemotropic movement, because the turning of the hyphae toward the chemical. If away from the chemical, so that is the negative chemotropic movement. While let's begin to understand the coleoptile curvature example, we will exemplify. So here is the coleoptile will excite of the embryo. So here is the auxin containing the upper cap. When excised or cut and removed, so this is the agar block 1 hour 4 hours we will remain here. So the auxin will be transferred to the agar block from the discard tip. So here is after the discarding the tip, so the agar block contain a auxin. So the auxin is the important hormone which that is the autonomic movement responsibility. So in this way, here is the agar block containing auxin, while here is the first leaf we will put here. So this is the first leaf here I am drawing. So in this way, the tip removed to remove auxin producing center. So the auxin will not produce. While the agar, when we will put the agar block, so the auxin will be produced and plant allowed to remain decapitate for 3 hours to remove the auxin. So in this way here you can see this is the auxin will be entered, and in this way the auxin is very important for the cell enlargement, so that one side will be enlarge the cell and the bend will be occur toward the light. So the curvature due to asymmetric growth of the two sides. So that is why the auxin is very important hormone, and the hormone is used for the autonomic movement while the other external stimulus used for the paratonic movement. So thanks for watching.